All right, boys, we're back at it again. I got a treat for you guys today, man. We got some Iran propaganda brain rot for you. Listening to fucking Myron go off about nothing. But we're gonna go through this, man. This video is 18 minutes and 51 seconds. I don't even know if we're gonna be able to get through all of it because, we'll see. But you know, in an earlier video, I talked about how the hatred for Israel, right? Because people are now starting to see that Israel has a little bit more to do with our policy than we would like, all right, to put it lightly, okay? And that has morphed into hatred for America. There is no better example of this than Myron and his brother. Myron it's sad to me because I was a big fan of Myron. You know, I watched Myron when he started doing Fresh and Fit and doing all the Red Pill content. I was into it. Eventually, I just kind of outgrew it, you know, getting older, and it kind of lost its flavor, and you start to see, well, okay, he just kind of speaks in generality the whole time, and you just outgrow it. You're supposed to, I would say, I guess, right? You're supposed to. So it's this is gonna be very interesting. But anyways, further ado, let's get into it, guys.
I'm trying to do right now. He's trying to get the Strait of Hormuz back open and allow the trade that was there before to continue. My friend, anytime you're fighting for pre-war conditions, you lost the war. Destroying Iran militarily means nothing when you can't actually destroy what they're using to hurt us the most, which is the closure of the Strait of Hormuz alongside their ballistic missile program. Okay, so here we go. Trump announces indefinite Iran ceasefire, what it means for the war. And then also, let me see what's going on X as they're running spaces on X. Okay, looks like they are. We'll join in the X space here in a little bit.
Breaking news here. There's a new statement from President Trump just posted on his Truth Social platform. He says this, quote, based on the fact that the government of Iran is seriously fractured, not unexpectedly so, and upon the request of Pakistani officials, we have been asked to hold our attack on the country of Iran until such time as their leaders and representatives can come up with a unified proposal. I have therefore directed our military to continue the blockade and in all other respects remain ready and able, and will therefore extend the ceasefire until such time as their proposal is submitted and discussions are concluded one way or the other. President Donald J. Trump. Barack Ravid, I mean, how do you read between the lines of this? I mean, the president here clearly, we will therefore extend the ceasefire until such time as their proposal is submitted.
I just want to point something out to you guys. And it's just a small detail, but it is worth noting. For the longest time, and probably people still do, especially his super fans that are just in the echo chamber that he's in, this Iran propaganda, anti-American echo chamber that they manifest in. Myron has always portrayed himself as a conservative. I don't know if he's ever explicitly came out and said it, but I'm pretty sure that he has, right? I've never looked at Myron and ever thought that he was a liberal. We'll say that, okay? If I had to guess, I would always guess a conservative. Look at what news media we're listening to right now. Look at what news, it's CNN, bro. Y'all don't think that's weird? But anyways, I'm not even saying that what they're gonna say is wrong. Again, we'll debate that, you know. But I'm just like, bro, this is how far he has came from who he used to be, or who who I thought that he was. Maybe I was the retard, and I thought he was somebody that he wasn't. So I just wanted to point that out, a little small detail, but you know,
you were talking just at the top of the show about thinking we could see this resumption in hostilities any moment. Seems like the president is taking that off the table for now. What say you?
Well, first, we said, that Vice President Vance postponed his trip to Pakistan indefinitely. I think President Trump here announced that there will be a ceasefire indefinitely. He did not give any time frame for this extension of the ceasefire. And I think what we see here is what...
And again, and this is why I said this video is 18 minutes and 51 seconds long. I don't know if we're gonna be able to get all through because I got to stop it all the time. In a previous video, I stated that Donald Trump cannot win with these people. If he is not doing the ceasefire and he's attacking Iran, he's a psychopathic murderer. But if he does a ceasefire, he's a pussy. He's a little bitch. Iran checked him. Like, that's what I'm saying. These people just hate Donald Trump, which inevitably means they just hate America. Okay, and I know that's a big leap, but Donald Trump is controlling America. So when Donald Trump takes an L, inevitably the country that he's in control of takes an L. I don't know why sometimes that's hard for people to understand that. So this is the shit I'm talking about, man. Like, he just cannot win with these people. But anyways,
I think we discussed, earlier in the show, President Trump wants to end the war. He did not want to resume it. He wants a diplomatic solution.
Yeah, he wants a solution because the thing is this, man. Look, guys, I hate to say this, but the reality is this, and Fox News and these other niggas are not going to admit this shit, but
okay.
Trump has no cards, bro, okay? Trump has no political cards here. He's in a quagmire of a...
Again, this is how dangerous echo chambers are, bro. Donald Trump has no cards. What are you talking about? Iran has no cards. They're not making any money. They literally cannot sell any oil, which they make 90% of their revenue from. But yeah, we have no cards, bro. By definition, we have cards. We have nukes. Now, I'm not saying to use that. Obviously, that would be crazy. And maybe there is a deterrence in them not using nukes and why. And I'm only going through this because of the cards thing. I'm just kind of thinking about what I just said. Maybe nukes are not a card. Okay, maybe it's not a card because then you could easily say, well, China's could retaliate against us and then Russia, right? Okay, so maybe that's not a card, but you could put boots on the ground. And again, diplomatically, that would ruin Donald Trump, and nobody wants that. Okay, obviously, so that's not going to happen. But like, by definition, we have more cards than Iran. What can Iran do to us? What can Iran do to us? They can block the oil, which is what they're already doing. Like, I just...
Political situation, a war that he cannot win, because in order to win, you're going to have to put boots on the ground. Putting boots on the ground is going to be very costly, politically, militarily.
You just wait them out, bro. You just wait them out. What do you mean? They were already a crumbling country. They literally were rioting in the streets because they had no water. Like, they weren't able to have enough water for their citizens to survive. Like, and again, I understand, like, there's like conspiracy theories that, like, there was a CIA soldier or CIA operatives, like, fanning or stoking, or Mossad agents stoking the fire to try to make the riots even bigger. But you take that aside, though. They weren't in the streets for no reason. It's because the country was already crumbling. Again, we talk about the inflation rate. Got one of the highest inflation rates in the world.
Economically, loss of life will be vast and horrible. So Trump knows that the longer this war goes, the worse it is for him. The only way to win the war is to do a regime change. And we simply can't do that right now. It's that simple. We could blow up Iran all we want. That's not going to win the war. Remember, guys, do not let these idiots fool you. Wars are fought to effectuate political change. If diplomacy doesn't work, then the next step is war. The purpose of a war is to effectuate political change by force. If you cannot get said political change by force and get your strategic outcome that you're trying to get, you lost. It's that simple. The Taliban famously always used to tell everybody, the Americans, you guys have the watches, but we got all the time. Whenever you're an invading country, right, with a superior military, the burden of victory is significantly higher than the defending country. All the defending country has to do is stay alive, okay? The invading country needs to come in, kick you out, get regime change, and impose their force, okay? Very hard to do. Very, very hard to do. So you're never going to win a war by air power alone, okay? Every single military strategist will tell you this. You cannot win a war with air power alone. I'm sorry. That's just not the way it works. So what is Trump trying to do right now? He's trying to get the Strait of Hormuz back open and allow the trade that was there before to continue. My friend, anytime you're...
But he's not, though. He's not, though. That's why he's not going to these talks, because he sees how unreasonable Iran is. They're not budging on anything. So Donald Trump is like, whatever, we're not gonna go. We got all the watches they have all the time. Okay, we'll see. Okay, we'll see how much time they got. We'll see how much time they have. They're making no money. Okay, we'll see. That's fine. Like, I'll get on here and I'll debate these clowns. Like, it's fine. But at the end of the day, I am not worried, because I know that we're gonna win this war, bro. Like, I don't know what else to say. There's too much at stake for us not to win this war. You put that aside, okay? But the other thing is, we don't even have to do anything. We literally have already won the war. It's just a matter of time for Iran to cave, right? And what you're going to see is Iran is going to ease up a little bit more. They're going to be a little bit more reasonable. They're going to be a little bit more polite. And maybe that's not how it's going to work. But if I was a betting man, that's kind of how I bet it would happen. But
You're fighting for pre-war
We'll see.
conditions. You lost the war.
they got all the time, so we'll see.
It's that simple. This isn't rocket science.
retarded
If you're
ass
fighting
soundbites,
or
bro.
trying to negotiate for pre-war conditions, you lost the war. Destroying Iran militarily means
Nobody
nothing
wants
when
that.
you can't actually destroy what they're using to hurt us the most, which is the closure of the Strait of Hormuz alongside their ballistic missile program. Remember day one, they said, oh, they only have 130 launchers left. Yeah, okay. Ask the about that one. There ain't no 130 launchers.
Even the most anti-American commentator says that we've at least knocked out half of their ballistic missile program. Okay, some say it's anywhere from half to 90%. Now, do I believe the 90%? No, but I do believe it's probably more than half, right? If the most anti-American people are saying it's half. Like, and then they have no money. They have no money to even rebuild it. Like, we got money. We can restock our shit. We can restock Israel shit.
All right. And then on top of that, the intelligence community, first Trump and Hegseth said, we destroyed 90% of their military infrastructure or their ballistic missile program. Then the intelligence agencies came out and said, well, we destroyed like 50%. Bro, I doubt we destroyed 50%. I think, and Douglas McGregor says this, and I agree with Douglas McGregor, I think we've destroyed maybe 20 to 30% of their ballistic missile program.
Bomboka!
That's what I think. Because that's
20 to 30%. He said that's what he thinks. Okay, so I guess it's not 50%. So they're saying 20%. I mean, we can argue about this shit all day long. That's fine. At the end of the day, he's going off of a source that he cannot verify, and I'm going off a source I can't verify. At the end of the day, it doesn't fucking matter, bro. We're just gonna wait them out. They can have 1 million missiles, bro. They can have 18 kajillion missiles, right? Who fucking cares? If they can't make any money, they can't support their country that is already collapsing, bro. It's checkmate. It's checkmate.
their biggest weapon, and we haven't destroyed that. And there's hundreds of them all over the place. Okay? So, yeah, dude, these guys are just unaware, bro. If I'm going to be honest, it's just like completely, unaware. But yeah, this war, Trump is looking for a political off-ramp, but the problem is that all the political off-ramps are going to make him look weak. That's the issue.
Richard Haas, always wonderful to see you. Thank you so much for being here. What do you make of what the president has announced here? I have to say, the language alone in this post is remarkably sober by President Trump's standards.
Well, I think,
dude, like the facetious language, bro, it's crazy to me. It's probably sober language because he doesn't care anymore. Like, I'm pretty sure he's moving on. Like, he said he's bored with the war. He's bored with the war because he knows what we all know. We already won. Just keep the blockade up and wait till they cave. And then we got other shit to worry about. So when they said that Donald Trump is bored and he's moved on with the war, I don't think that's not. I don't think that people are lying. I do believe that there's some truth to that. Because why would he be so infatuated with this war when we all know that we already won? Like, let's move on. Let's do other shit. Because we got other people to worry about. Like China, which is a big, major blow to China. This war right here, the war that we already won. And then I mean it's people like Myron who like obsess over this shit because they're obviously getting, you know, I'm not gonna go there. I'm not gonna say he's getting paid by people because I don't know. He could truly just be pro-Iran. I mean, because people can look at me and be like, "Oh, you're pro-Israel or pro." Well, I mean, I hope you would think I'm pro-America, right? But I'm getting paid from Israel, which is not fucking true. The point is, I do think that Donald Trump is over it. Okay, I think it's like, yeah, we keep the ceasefire. We don't need to shoot any more rockets, waste any more rockets. They don't need to waste any more rockets. We're gonna keep the blockade up, and we'll just wait till they come with some negotiating stuff that we actually want to hear.
What happened is people look at the implications, for example, of resuming conflict to start attacking, and we don't have essentially a serious target theft left anymore. Plus renewed warfare.
Yeah, we bombed 11,000 targets, but we're still losing.
That opens up,
bro,
the possibility of Iranian retaliation.
How? See, you see how he says that shit and then he just moves on? But he doesn't clarify what he's talking about. How are we losing at? Because our allies cannot, our Gulf allies can't sell oil? Is that really what he's going off of? Because our Gulf allies can't sell oil, which I'm not gonna lie, it's not like it's not a hit to us. But it's like they punched us in the shoulder, but we broke their jaw. Like that's literally the comparison. You know what I mean? Like the fact that we have cut off their only way to make money. Like, and I know I keep saying this shit. I keep reiterating it, but bro, this is it. Like this is the only thing we need to do.
Against the countries of the region. That would be a disaster. So I think the president wisely extended the ceasefire. And I think
Yeah, Taco, man. He extended the ceasefire because it doesn't benefit him to continue the conflict, bro. Look, a Brent of, what was it? Did it go down? It was 99 earlier, now it's sitting at 98. It was $99 earlier, almost broke $100 earlier today.
You have now, Casey, even though you don't have formal negotiations,
it went down.
I think this is an interesting moment for signal passing, whether it's direct or through Pakistan or whatever. Because what you could have, for example, is the United States could signal what we would be prepared to do with stand.
Like, bro, you're cutting off oil that goes into the global oil market. Of course, prices are going to go up a little bit. But I tell you what, hey, that's all good news for countries like Venezuela. Venezuela's making money now. Now that we control their oil.
Handing down the blockade, what we would require of Iran. Or we could send some messages about nuclear issues or what have you, or what we would want in order to get the talks restarted. So I actually think this is actually a positive development here.
One of the pieces of this message was him, the president, saying that they're going to wait for the Iranians to come back with a proposal of some sort. And Barack Ravid was on earlier reporting about splits, essentially, between the military and civilian wings of the leadership of Iran. What role do you think that's playing here?
Well, it's both.
The civilian leadership has no power, bro. The IRGC only answers to the supreme leader, Mojtaba. They don't answer to the parliament head. They don't answer to Aragachi. They don't answer even to the president, Pezeshkian. The Iranians have a completely...
It doesn't matter what the citizens want. They're not in charge.
decentralized military infrastructure. That's why even when they didn't have a supreme leader, remember guys, it took them a couple weeks to get Mojtaba as a supreme leader. They were still bombing out of in all of our bases. Why? Because they have a mosaic defense. They have a mosaic military infrastructure, which basically was created where even if you decapitate the head, the missiles are coming, bro. And that is why Trump deciding to attack the Iranians and kill the supreme leader was the stupidest thing he could have ever done. It did absolutely nothing.
It's ironic and it's serious. It's ironic because the United States is in no small part responsible for it. The United States and Israel, all the targeted killings of Iranian political, clerical, and military leaders created a leadership vacuum. And what you now have is all sorts of people getting their footing, competing with one another. So it doesn't come as any surprise.
And it doesn't matter because the IRGC is going to go off of based what Ali Khamenei said, which Ali Khamenei already had 7 layers. For those of you that don't know, guys, Ali Khamenei literally had, before he died, the supreme leader prior to Moshtaba Khamenei, his son, he had 7 layers of succession ready to go. Literally had 7 layers of succession. Also, just so you guys know,
Bro, they say that like it's a master strategy that he had. I'm pretty sure every military in the world has that established. Like, if you kill our president, then we got another you got the vice president, and then after that, you got to speak like, dude. They said that like he was a master strategist. I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's how every military is.
oh, when they killed him, bro was sitting in his house. He wasn't sitting in his bunker. He was sitting in his house. If he had sat in his bunker, he would have lived. That's why they had to come back and bomb the government building several times over, because they found out they didn't actually destroy everything. Dude was sitting in his office when they bombed him and killed him, which is above ground. Let's see here. What's the latest? Actually, let's look here. Let's see how Fox News spins this.
We want to bring you some breaking news here on Live Now from Fox. If you take a look at your screen, this statement coming moments ago from President Trump on Truth Social, saying, based on the fact that the government of Iran is seriously fractured, not unexpectedly so, and
because JD Vance was supposed to go and he didn't.
Upon the request of the Field Marshal and Prime Minister of Pakistan, we have been asked to hold our attack on the country of Iran until such time as their leaders and representatives.
Also, going back to war is only going to hurt him, bro. It's not going to help at all. It's only going to hurt.
Can come up with a unified proposal. I have therefore directed our military to continue the blockade and in all other respects remain ready and able, and will therefore extend the ceasefire until such time as their proposal is submitted and discussions are concluded one way or the other. That's signed President Donald J. Trump. This, of course, comes as that ceasefire with Iran was set to expire on Wednesday. This is a big story that we will continue tracking for you here on Live Now from Fox. Come back to Live Now from Fox. I'm Anna Marsick.
Yeah, he doesn't have a choice, bro. He had to extend a ceasefire. Starting the war again would absolutely... And here's the thing, we're getting closer to midterms, bro.
If you are just...
He's in a very bad spot right now, Donald Trump, man.
Joining us, we are
politically.
Following some breaking news. This statement coming from the White House saying, based on the fact that the government of Iran is seriously fractured, not unexpectedly so, and upon the request of the Field Marshal and Prime Minister of Pakistan, we have been asked to hold our attack on the country of Iran until such time as their leaders and representatives can come up with a unified proposal. I have therefore directed our military to continue the blockade and, in all other respects, remain ready and able, and will therefore extend the ceasefire.
Also, the Gulf states can't keep getting attacked. Guys, that's the other thing you guys got to remember is like he cannot continue to allow and the Gulf states to keep getting destroyed by these niggas, bro, hitting them with bombs. Like, guys, keep in mind that, like, if he attacks Iran, Iran is going to retaliate by attacking the Gulf states. And the Gulf states just invested a whole bunch of money in us, okay?
Then we would do the same thing, bro. We would start fucking up Iran. Start blowing up all their shit. Like...
So it's like, bro, what? And the Gulf states are pissed off.
Discussions are concluded one way or the other. That's signed President Donald J. Trump. Once again, that breaking news just coming in moments ago. And right now we are waiting for an event to get underway at the White House, where President Donald Trump is going to host more than 100 collegiate champions from different sports and universities to celebrate the NCAA Collegiate National Champions. Another look at a different advantage plate right now of that event. That
okay, so obviously Fox News is going to be, and they're going to say, not going to say what it really is. Of course, they're going to, okay.
Bro, Fox News didn't even say anything. All they did was read the tweet. Like, oh, bro. See, I told you, Donald Trump is just over, bro. They're talking about hosting sporting events now. Like, that's funny as fuck, dude.
Hold on, let's go. Iran, ceasefire. What's the latest? Okay, so he says ceasefire until discussions are... That's funny.
We have some breaking news in the war with Iran. President Trump just released...
Drum Towel, shout out to you.
A state...
Bro, why does Myron look so much like his mascot here? Like, this is supposed to be like a greedy Jew. Does this not... Is this him supposed to be a Jew?
Moments ago, let's get right to CBS News White House reporter Olivia Rinaldi. Olivia, what's the very latest?
Hey Liz, good to see you. I told you there were a lot of developments today in the last 10 minutes since we just spoke. There was one more very big development. President Trump on Truth Social just wrote, based on the fact that the government of Iran is seriously fractured and upon the request of the field marshal.
I love how he says that. You mean our economy is fractured.
Of Pakistan and their prime minister, he says, quote, we have been asked to hold...
Iran said that they're not going to go to the meetings, bro. Iran said they're not going to go to the meetings, and what did he do? Trump folded.
Hold our attack on the country of Iran.
I know, I keep saying I'm not going to pause the shit, bro, but you know what that sounds like to me? That's like, no, you can't fire me because I quit.
Iran until such time as their leaders and representatives can come up with a unified proposal. I have therefore directed our military to continue the blockade and in all other respects remain ready.
So, bro, by doing the blockade, that doesn't help. Bro is still doing the blockade. Like, what? They're not going to honor the ceasefire, bro. Like, what?
Ready and able, the president goes on to say, I will therefore extend the ceasefire until such a time as their proposal is submitted and discussions are concluded one way or the other.
Mike Dixie says, I just learned Colorado's Green River Formation contains an estimated 4.285 trillion barrels of oil we can tap one day in the future. Yeah, again, bro, you got to remember oil, right? So the reason why oil is so expensive, bro, and why we feel it, even though we don't need the Strait of Hormuz like they claim, the United States is a very oil-dependent country, bro.
Did you hear that? Like they claim. What? The United States is a very oil-dependent country, bro. Every fucking country's an oil-dependent country. What are you talking about? It's literally energy. This fucking guy, bro.
Okay, let me break this down for you guys. Like this is why you guys got to stop like watching these people on the news. When Trump says, "Oh, our oil, we only use 10% or 15% of the oil that goes through Strait of Hormuz," like we don't need that oil. Well, if that's the case, why were you guys all paying double for gas over the past couple of weeks? Why are the gas prices?
Okay, it's not double. Okay, I'm in Texas, so my gas only went up about $1. Okay, which is not nothing, right? I mean, it is like $1. You feel that shit for sure. But people are acting like it went from $2 to $18. Like it's for what it is globally, what we are getting in return. And what I mean by that is control of the Strait of Hormuz, which means control of 40% of China's oil, is not nothing, bro. And we'll get into a video that will break this all down and make it all make so much sense on why us getting control of the Strait of Hormuz will literally collapse the Chinese market and will keep United States as the global power. I can't even tell you for how long, bro. Like, I mean, it's such a big W for the United States that people just do not see. I mean, people just, and we'll get into it, we'll talk about it, but I mean, it's, once you break it up, because once I saw this video, I was like, holy shit, bro, that is crazy.
Price is still high now. I'll tell you why. Despite the fact that the United States makes a lot of oil, despite the fact we have our own refineries, despite the fact that we got Venezuela, okay, oil is an international commodity, okay? Crude is an international commodity. We live in a globalized world, okay, chat? So regardless of whether us selling our oil or us having oil or whatever the may be, it doesn't matter because oil, since it's an international commodity, the markets are based off of it being an international commodity, not a US-based commodity. Also, even though we make our own oil, the reason why the United
Okay, there's only a certain amount of oil in the world, okay? Everybody needs oil, okay? So when part of this commodity, I got my canteen in my hand. Oh, Jesus. So when part of this oil goes away, it makes all the remaining oil more expensive, okay? So I don't know what he's trying to explain it, but he obviously doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. So when you cut off part of the supply and demand, okay, the demand goes up, okay, which inevitably means if the demand goes up, the price is going to go up. That's why it doesn't matter what you do, oil's just going to go up, okay? And as far as the oil in the country, U.S., the majority of the oil that U.S. has is light crude oil, which there's a bunch of conspiracies on why this is, but weirdly enough, we have no refineries that can process, or not, no, the most of our refineries can only process heavy crude oil, okay? Which is actually what Venezuela has. And Venezuela has the world's largest amount of heavy crude oil. Almost like Donald Trump kind of knew what he was doing, huh? So now that we have control of Venezuela's oil, the oil of us exporting, I mean, it is important because we make money when we sell our oil, but that was the biggest. That's why the oil prices have been pretty level for the U.S. I mean, to be honest. Now, if you got a diesel truck that takes 1,800 fucking gallons of diesel, and diesel always goes up more than gas, yeah, you're going to feel it a little bit more. So, like, I have a gas car. Normally it takes $30 to fill up my car. Right now I'm filling it up about $38, $39. So, and again, I am in Texas. We're a little bit closer to the Gulf, so our fuel does always kind of seem to be reasonable for the most part. You know, it's not like California where California's just, that's cricket politics is all that is, but whatever.
States is super sensitive, right? Because this is what you guys need to pay attention to. Why is the United States so sensitive to oil volatility, even though we make all our own oil? Did you ever think about that? Listen up, chat. Why is the United States so sensitive to oil volatility, even though we make our own crude and we took over Venezuela? Did you ever think about that? I'll tell you why. Because the United States is heavily dependent upon oil, okay? It is extremely dependent upon oil. We laugh at renewable energy. We laugh at electric vehicles. It's a minority of our market.
Every country is dependent on oil. What are we talking about? Every country is dependent on oil. You literally need oil for energy. I
never think about that. So even though we might produce a lot of our own oil and we took over Venezuela, the reason why the United States is so volatile based on volatility of oil, why our oil prices go up crazy when there's any type of tremor in the market, is because the United States in of itself, our infrastructure is based on oil. Do you get that? Even China doesn't deal with the same level of volatility from oil spikes as we do. China is the leader in renewable energy, okay? The leader in renewable energy, solar panels, etc. We laugh at renewable energy. We think, global warming is a scam, which I'll be honest, it is in a lot of ways. China already has a bunch of electric vehicles. Something like 40 to 50% of their vehicles are electric. Why do you think we don't sell Chinese EVs in America? You ever thought about that, chat? Why do we not sell Chinese EVs in America? Because they would put Tesla out of business. That's why. They would make Elon Musk poor. That is why. There's electric cars in China that go for $10,000 US. $10,000. Meanwhile, the cheapest Tesla is what? $40K? They don't want you to know that though. This is the real red pill that no one wants to tell y'all, bro. So when Trump or these MAGA they're sitting there telling you like, oh, well, we don't even care. We don't need that oil. We only use a minority of the oil that comes through the Strait of Hormuz. It's not that big a deal. We make our own oil. That doesn't matter because we have a big economy, okay? And our economy is heavily reliant upon oil to make things move. We don't have the same level or advancement when it comes to renewable energy. So anytime something happens with oil in the world, we feel it immediately. And we feel it a lot more than other countries. And if you don't believe me, look at your gas prices. If you don't believe me, just look.
God, dude, that's the stupidest fucking soundbite ever, bro. And he hits it every 30 minutes. As far as the China shit, I actually don't know. We'll have to look into that. Knowing Myron is probably bullshit, but we'll look into it, to be honest with you. The $10,000 EV cars, I think I have heard that before. The fact of the matter is, cutting off 30% of China's oil, you cannot say that that does not affect them, and that's not a big deal. That is a massive fucking deal. And to be honest with you, if China don't need it, whatever, we'll take it. No, I'm joking. I mean, maybe. So I don't know. I mean, whatever. Like,
Get your gas prices. We just got Venezuela. We got all our own oil. Drill, baby, drill. But y'all niggas are still paying twice at the pump.
Like, this is what he has to cling on. Like, this is his thing. It's the price of oil, price of gas, and the blockade that Iran is enforcing. Like, that's the only thing that he has. So, like, that's where his argument always kind of go back to, is like the price of oil, what you're paying at the gas pump. So, and he didn't even talk about it, because he probably doesn't even know that the majority of the oil in the United States is like crude oil. Because I would think if he knew that, he would probably bring that up, I'm pretty sure. And that our refineries cannot process like crude oil for some reason. So, how much left do we got of this? I might cut this off right here.
Someone says I wouldn't trust the Chinese EV. Okay, if you wouldn't trust the Chinese EV, why don't we sell them here in America then? If you wouldn't trust them. If they suck so much.
What? I don't know what that logic is coming from. One of his guys in the chat said that I wouldn't trust the Chinese EV, and then he says, well, why don't you sell it in America? Well, he's saying he wouldn't trust it. So I don't know. Why would your argument be, well, why wouldn't you sell it in America?
Why don't we sell them in America? You ever thought about that? Tesla will go out of business tomorrow if China sold their EVs here. There's a reason why they're banned.
First of all, okay, he's talking about 10,000 USD, right? China has a heavily inflated currency as well, okay? A lot of people don't talk about that, but the yen is heavily inflated, okay? So yeah, $10,000 to us doesn't seem like a lot, but to China, it's a lot, okay? The other thing is, why would you import Chinese cars? Like, we already have enough vehicle imports. You want to import our number one adversary, electrical vehicles? Like, buying toys and fucking phones and all this shit from them, chips, is one thing, but I feel like going full-blown electrical cars, it's just another thing that we don't want to rely on them for. So, I mean, strategically, maybe that's why. I don't really know. I mean, to be honest with you, I haven't really looked into it that much.
Bring everything else from China. Why don't we bring the EVs? I wonder why. And these are very difficult conversations that no one wants to have. No one wants to talk about this shit. Some reason I already know in the chat's going to say, Myron, are you going to be a China-tard? No. I'm very aware, though, of how much of a danger China is to the United States. Meanwhile, our dumb monkey are sitting in the Middle East fighting wars for Israel. While China...
Oh my God, this dude is so retarded, bro. He's so fucking retarded. He just admitted that China is we're literally cutting. Who do you think Iran sells the oil to, bro? Okay, guys, I'm gonna have a fucking hernia or something, dude. I'm starting to get a goddamn headache. Like, I don't get it, bro. Like, this dude needs to get out of his echo chamber. Like, this, and the reason why I said this was sad earlier is because I used to be such a big fan of Myron. I used to really like his shit, bro. But he's in such a bad echo chamber that I don't even know what to say. Like, I don't know what to say, what to do. Like, this, I mean, it's just... Anyways, guys, but this was a rough one, but I appreciate you guys sticking it out with me. We are going to cut it off there. There's a couple of minutes left in this video. He's just going to be a retard the rest of the video, I'm sure. So, but I appreciate it, guys. This was fun. It's always fun hanging out with you guys, no matter what retard we got to deal with. But all right, I love you guys. Take it easy. Peace.